Hey everyone, it's Don with Don's Field of Dreams Cards. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the elderly gentleman that you saw in the beginning of my video here. That man is Lionel Carter. And Lionel Carter is one of the pioneers of card collecting. Started collecting cards, I believe, in 1933 and is believed to be the first guy to finish the whole set of the 1933 DeLonge cards. And he was well known for having the one of the nicest collections condition-wise. He would buy these cards in the 30s and 40s up until the 50s and put them in scrapbooks, but he didn't glue them on the back. They had little tabs that he would put them in, and the condition of these cards were amazing. And if there was a Hall of Fame for card collectors, he would be one of the early entrants, along with guys like Jefferson Burdick, and there's others. I believe it's been said that Jefferson Burdick was more about finding the different type of cards and rare cards, where Lionel was more about the condition. And there's the first photo you see was in 1956, showing that his whole collection at the time was worth $1,000. So think about that. You know, those were cards from the early 30s. 20 years later, this whole collection, which was believed to be close to 50,000 cards, was worth $1,000. And he mentions in his videos that he would sell cards for 2 cents and that he made a profit on them. You know, early writer, there were trade magazines that were said that they looked like they were printed in guys' basements, and was very involved in the hobby. They said they used to correspond through just writing letters and sending cards in envelopes and trading to each other that way, obviously well before the internet, but they didn't even get on the phone and make these trades. So at one point, as Lionel got much older, there was a break-in his house. He lived in Illinois, and a lot of his cards were stolen. Fortunately, later recovered and he received them back, but not 100% sure on this, but in his 70s or 80s, I believe is how old he was, and was scared that there was going to be another break-in. And as much as he did not want to sell these cards, it wasn't worth, or it wasn't about the money, but he felt, I need to get rid of these cards. And he had SGC grade them, and he had Mastro Auctions sell them, which, if you know anything about Mastro Auctions, Bill Mastro, the owner, spent time in prison, and so did Doug Allen, who spent a lot of time with Lionel going through his cards and getting it set up through SGC. So not sure if they were in prison while Lionel was still alive or not, but I can't imagine that he was too thrilled that he was dealing with 2 guys that ended up spending time in prison over wire or illegal wire transfers and other things with the cards and shilling up auctions. But so, you know, he ended up selling his cards for, I believe, $2 or $3 million, and one of the most amazing collections out there. And the reason I'm talking about Lionel is it was one piece of my collection that I really wanted to add something from his collection that I did not have. And this card I'm about to show is, as I'm talking about, is more about who owned it rather than the card itself, even though it's a really nice card. It's a Hall of Famer, and it's my first card from this set. So this is right up there with a lot of other cards in my collection. The value of this card is not monetarily very high for what I paid for it, but to finally say I have a card that was in Lionel Carter's collection, and there's a really, really good chance that he pulled this from a pack. So obviously it went from Lionel to SGC. So obviously there's been a few, or at least one owner that I bought it off of eBay from. So just really excited to show this card. And it's a 1934 36 Diamond Star Rabbit Moranville. Beautiful card, like all his cards are. I mean, look at the corners, the centering. And then you can see it right on here, Lionel Carter collection. So the very first card, and probably the only one. Don't need to get more of these, but I just really wanted at least one of his cards in my collection. And it's a SGC 5, and I'm going to keep it in this label. You know, I don't know if they would, I would assume if they put the new label on, they would still say that, but You know, this is how it left Lionel's hands to SGC, and just to think that I have a card from that amazing collection, one of the pioneers of card collecting. So happy to have it. You know, it's going to go right up there with some of my big cards just because it's unique. There's a story behind this, and that's the beauty of this collection is, or this hobby is, the stories and the history. That, you know, there's history to this card. I know the provenance of this card, and so excited to have it. So if you don't know about Lionel Carter or Jefferson Burdick, his collection's in one of the museums in New York City. And I apologize for not knowing the name of that, but just do yourself a favor and either look on YouTube or Google them and learn a little bit about them. Very fascinating, great guys. You know, Lionel was before his time. No one else was, that I know of, was keeping cards in this condition, and saved them for all those years for people like me to be able to enjoy and appreciate having a card, most likely from a pack that he opened, and just love it. And so happy to add something from a pioneer of the collection. So as always, guys, thanks for watching my video, and I'll talk to you soon.